you going? So today on BKRsport, we are here for another draft video. I am absolutely loving this series so far, man. It is so much fun. We're going through all 16 different NRL teams with 16 different NRL content creators and basically just picking our best team. But we're not just picking the best team as in like, okay, let's kind of combine a team here. We're actually going 1v1 in a bit of competition, bit of fun, where we're going to select our best team from the history of that team. And basically when one player gets selected, you can't then have him. So when Andrew Johns gets selected, more than likely in first pick, just throwing that one out there. When he gets selected in first pick, that means that he can't be taken by the opposition, which makes it a little bit more fun. See who we can get, and then you guys are going to vote for the best team on Instagram, Facebook, the likes. Go and give us a follow, BKRsport. But today, guys, Newcastle Knights, big team here. Haven't been, I think they came in the 80s, something like that. But this is a great team, man. They've had some real quality stars over time, and realistically, it doesn't really matter where you go. You're still going to find someone really, really quality, and that's what we love to see. Because some teams don't have a great deal of depth. I think in the back line, the depth is here. But obviously, I'm not here by myself right now. We do have a Knights fan, and his name is Tommy Casha. You may have heard of him. How you doing, champion?
Good, Blaze, man. How are you? Thank you so much for having me. I'm bloody pumped and also nervous. My hands are real sweaty.
Mate, I get nervous. I get nervous for everyone here. Like, I've done a few now, and although I would class myself as the experienced buddy hooker here in regards to kind of knowing what I'm doing right now, it still gets, I'm still so excited with what I'm doing, because you look at, my favorite part of this series isn't even necessarily selecting the players. It's more so actually going back through the years and having those kind of, what's it called? Where you think back and
Flashbacks?
Flashbacks? No, it's like the good memories from looking back at.
Oh, when you're a kid, the
reminiscing. It's a different word, but I don't know.
It's a really big word. It'll come to us later.
It'll come to us in 17th pick or something like that. We're like, oh, there we go. That's the one. But yeah, let us know what you do, Tommy. Obviously, you're a Knights fan, and I really enjoy your content. I think it's funny as hell, but let everyone know what you do.
Thanks, man. So I head to the Knights games when they play at McDonald Jones Stadium, set up my camera, my little microphone, and I just ask people if they want to have a chat about the footy. Ask them how the Knights are going to go. I'll come up with some shit questions before each game. Like, which Knights player's got the tidiest bedroom? Kalen's had his groin issues. Got any home remedies to fix them? That kind of just general chat outside the footy. But unfortunately, I only got to do like 6 videos or something this year before COVID kind of kicked in. So yeah. I'm just hoping that COVID isn't around next year and I can get back to making some fun content.
That's the same with me, man. Like, obviously I do my live streams, but like I want to get back to my vlogs. Vlogs is the core of my content. I got to do some vlogs at the beginning of the year, but then obviously I haven't been able to do any since, unless Queensland, by the time this video came out, you know, they graced me. They graced me with being allowed to come back home to the Gold Coast. Please tell me I'm back home to the Gold Coast right now. But
fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, man. Well, by the time this comes out, I'll either be there or not be there. So the way this is going to go, guys, is basically you can choose whoever you want, whenever you want. There is no order here. You don't have to go fullback and then center, wing, whatnot. It literally comes down to strategy. So I will let you know, I have won the first pick here. I always let the guest do the heads flip or tails flip, and he chose tails, and it was heads, which means that me, numero uno, and I like that. I like that very much. I like it very much. So
there is a standout here, isn't there?
There is a standout. There is an absolute standout. Absolutely. Sure. I think, but the thing is, man, it's like on your shirt right there, the Matty John shirt, like that is it's a great shirt nonetheless. And he's definitely a player that I know will get picked very, very quickly. But also, you can't really, I don't really think the Knights are like this, but I'll just confirm for everyone, you can't really take a player who was there for 2 weeks or a year, wasn't good there, and then went to another club and burst out. It kind of has to be relative form to the club. There's no real kind of, it does come down to opinion there. If you make an argument for it, fine. But Tommy here also, he is actually a regional. Actually, tell us where you're from, man, because obviously you're relatively new to the NRL scene. Yeah,
I really am. So I moved up to Newcastle in May 2020. So literally I've been in Newey for just over 12 months. And before that, I was born and raised in Melbourne, lived in Victoria my whole life. So everything's AFL. If this was AFL, I'm confident that I would beat you. But given I'm so
new, there's a big talker here. He's a big talker for the old AFL. I reckon that's something for potentially next year that we could get going then when I start doing AFL again. But yeah, so basically when he goes off the board, Issa Danaruno. I kind of explain your pick from here to there, but it's all a bit of fun. Main thing is as well, guys, you will disagree with some of these picks. You absolutely will. That's the whole point of this. It's all down to opinion and who we think might work better with the team. Like, I'm going to select players based on kind of who I've selected as well, because I like the Knights team, I do. So I kind of know how each player does work alongside each other. And basically, yeah, let us know in the comments section what your thoughts are. Go and chuck Tommy Casha a follow on Insta. Where can everyone find you, by the way?
Yeah, man. Instagram at Tommy Casha. That's
Brilliant.
it.
There we go. Smash it. Easy as. Obviously, guys, thumbs up, subscribe, but it's time to get into the big boy season of drafting. And I think we all know that it's a very, very easy one here for me and mine. Very, very easy. And I'm taking number 7, Andrew Johns, the greatest of all time for the Knights, potentially the greatest of all time in just the sport in general. But obviously, there is other people from Queensland that you may disagree with. But I'm taking Andrew Johns, absolutely.
Yep. Okay. That's very good.
So you're up for 2 picks, man.
I got 2 picks. Okay. So I'm going to go Robbie O'Davis.
Robbie O'Davis in the fullback, absolutely. I had him as my number 1 fullback, yeah.
Fantastic. And then my number 2 pick,
yeah,
I'm going to go the man on my shirt.
I wanted him. Damn
at number 6.
Yeah. I was hoping when you said Robbie O'Davis, I was like, oh, maybe you might have forgot about Matt Johns here, and I might be able to get the Johns brothers in the halves. And I was like, that would have been crazy if that had happened. That would have been absolutely crazy if that happened.
That's why I wore the shirt, just in case I forgot to pick him. I was like, just look at your shirt and make sure you get him out.
If you had got the first pick, would you have gone? Who would you have gone? Would you have gone Andrew Johns?
Yeah, would have 100%.
Okay, just making sure.
I'm glad we prefaced it that I don't know a huge amount about league, but I know that my first pick had to be Andrew Johns.
Mate, if you had have taken anyone but Andrew Johns, I would have hung the Zoom call up. I would have said, listen, that's it. The draft's done. We're finito. All right. So I'm up for another 2 picks here.
Yep.
And you've got your fullback. So I don't even really need to necessarily look at that right now. And you've also got your 5'8". So I'm pretty happy with that one. And I will say this, guys, as well. I think a lot of people are going to forget that this team, even in their bad years of the 2010s, you still had quite a few good players there. Like the Knights were dreadful in the 2010s, man. Like they won, I think, 3 wooden spoons in a row. Like, wow, that. No offense, man, but they were really bad in the 2010s. My team was too. We won 2 spoons, but you did beat us there. So I just want to say there are a couple of players that I probably will take throughout time, but I'm not taking them just yet. I'm going to take a front rower here, though.
Okay.
And I'm going to take one of the greatest front rowers of all time, and that's Paul Harragon. That's Harrow, Paul Harragon. That is the number 1 that I had there, and I just think that, look, the forwards are still good, don't get me wrong, but I think the back line over the years has been the Knights' real bloody positivity.
Yep.
And now I'm also going to go here, and what is a lackluster position is my question. What is a lackluster position here? And who are you going to... You know what? I'm going to go to my hooker here, and I'm going to take Danny Badiris.
Oh!
Yeah, got him.
You bloody bastard.
You were going to go him right now, weren't you?
Yeah, 100%.
I nearly forgot about him. Before I saw Paul Harragon, I looked at him and I'm like, oh, yeah, I should get him. And then for some reason, my brain just scapped it and didn't even think about him. But now I thought about him. Danny Badiris, baby. Let's go. You're up for 2 picks.
Smart. Okay, so I'm going to go with... Look, this is probably going to be my first controversial pick, I guess. Might show my lack of knowledge, but I'm going to go Mitch Pearce at 7.
Mitchell Pearce at 7. You're doing an entertain house. I love it, mate. I love it. What I'll say here, I'm just going to clarify this, and then you can tell me why.
Okay.
But the reason why I say you're doing an entertain house is because when myself, Roasted, Ladies Who League, and Entertain House did like a right now NRL draft last year, Entertain House with his first pick took Mitchell Pearce. And he probably wouldn't come out. I don't think anyone would have taken Mitchell Pearce at the time. But that's an early pick. But in the same sense, you do want to lock down your half, because I could have taken a half and put him into the 6 as well. But why'd you take Mitchell Pearce, man?
Purely because I know that, obviously, Andrew Johns, greatest half.
Yep.
Then when I was doing my research in terms of previous Knights players, there wasn't another standout half that I saw. So I thought, well, Pearce is good now. And I was picking Pearce over Jake Clifford of my current knowledge that I could put there. I actually know Blake Green, so I was potentially going to put Blake in there, but obviously his form at the Knights in the, 6 games he played.
He didn't play great deal of games for him, yeah.
Okay.
I would have said, because I don't think you're going to take another half. Well, obviously not going to take another halfback, and you've already got your 6. You know what? I actually think Mitchell Pearce is a good shout there, because there is no depth there, but there is Trent Hodkinson, who was good at the time at the Knights, but he was more so known for his doggies days too. But same sense, I don't actually think it's a bad pick, because there is no real halves, yeah.
So I'm going to follow you, and I'm also going to lock in my hooker.
Okay.
And I'd like to know if this person was on your list of hookers. Now, In my research, I found out this guy can also play lock, which comes in handy in terms of versatility.
Okay. I'm trying to think of who it is.
Your response makes me nervous to think that this...
Is it? It's not Matty Hilda?
No.
No, who is it?
Big Bill Pedden.
Big Bill Pedden. I have Bill Pedden somewhere on my list here. Where is he? Oh, he's number 1 on my locks. Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, in the like I said, research I did. Apparently he plays hooker too.
Well, there you go. I didn't know he played hooker, but I definitely know that he played lock. But I'm allowing it because obviously if in the research it said he played hooker, then buddy, go for it.
Fantastic. I think he played hooker, I read, in 97?
97. Well, that's a good year, mate. That's a good year for the Knights because that was when Darren Albert scored that fantastic try against the Manly Seagulls, and which everyone loves, mate. Even
speaking of Darren Albert, I've got a fun fact on him.
Yeah, go on.
You know he ran a 10.7 for 100 metres?
Wow.
That is very, very fast.
I think the record is like 9.4 or something like that from Usain. So that's only like a second behind Usain, which is, I know a second's a lot in running, but in the same sense, like that's really good.
Yeah.
That's really good. People actually underrate his pace. People do underrate his pace. Now, I know you've got, I could really do a real good here. I could do a real good right now and just, I'm gonna help you out a little bit here as well, actually, because I know that obviously I'm basically, man. So because to be fair, Bill Pedden's a good one because I would have taken him in the 13, but you have put him in the 9. Just also kind of take note about where I'm taking picks because if I take a 9, obviously I'm not normally going to look for a 9 again because I've done it. So then you would kind of wait for later. But don't let me tell you how to do it, man. I'm just kind of I shouldn't have told you because then I could have just gone bang, 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 bang. But no, you're right, man. All right, so where should I go here? You've already got a fullback, but you do have your utility spot open. So I might be doing a bit of a dodgy here, but I'm going to, as in like I might be doing the wrong thing by my team. But I'm actually going to take Kurt Gidley and I'm going to put him in my 14 in my utility role.
Okay.
He literally played everywhere, man. He played everywhere. Kurt Gidley played in the halves. You could probably chuck him on the wing. Obviously, he was a great fullback. And this is why it's controversial because a lot of people would be like, why aren't you putting Kurt Gidley in fullback right now? He's one of the Knights' greatest fullbacks. And that's because I'm actually going to take Kalen Ponga and I'm going to put him in the fullback role right now. I think that's, look, I think that Ponga is doing a fantastic job with the Knights. I think that he really pulls them along. And to be honest with you, man, you took my number 1 of Robbie Davis. So I had my number 2 as Kurt Gidley and number 3 is Kalen Ponga, but I think a bit more of a utility is Kurt Gidley. So I may as well do it like that. But you're up for 2 picks.
It's funny because I was going to put Kalen in 6.
Oh, were you? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you got Matty Johns. You can't complain with that.
No, I can't. But that was also penciled in that Kalen could potentially play 6, which I heard on the grapevine.
Here we go.
Might be something that they're looking at.
Oh, something it's similar to what like AJ Brimson going from the 1 to the 6 of the Titans and Jaden Campbell going fullback. You're thinking Kalen Ponga might be doing the same thing at the Knights. That's interesting.
Yeah, I reckon that's just write that one down and then in a year or two, you're like, Tommy told me that.
Yeah, take notice of it, lads out there. This is why we have Tommy Casha on here. He's in the know, mate. He's in the know.
Now, okay, you mentioned there's not a lot of depth in the forwards.
I would say so, yeah.
So given that,
okay,
I'm just going to take your advice from before. Okay. Leave the forwards till last because the depth isn't there anyway. So if I pick first or pick second, what's the difference? The forwards aren't great. So I'm going to take Tamana Tahu.
Tahu, yeah.
Purely because the pronunciation of his name.
On the wing or in the centres?
Wing.
Okay, on the wing, yeah.
The number 2.
Number 2, specifically 2, not 5. Okay,
yep.
Number 2.
And then I'm also going to pick Matt Gidley in the centres.
Matt Gidley is my number 1 centre. You've just stolen off the board, mate. You're a thief.
Come on.
You are a thief. For someone who doesn't know what he's talking about, he knows what he's talking about. You know, Matt Gidley and Tamana Tahu. That's a great centre and wing pairing there. And the thing is, man, as well, is that a lot of young kids nowadays might not remember Matt Gidley, but Matt Gidley was an absolute barnstormer of a centre, unbelievable centre, and that's why I definitely had him in the number 1 there. And I think that was great. However, you've done a bit of a bad here.
Oh no,
you've done a bit of a bad here on the wing. And that's why I'm taking Adam Mcdougall. Adam Mcdougall is the man, the machine, the bald-headed freak when it comes to the Knights. He was unbelievable. I loved him. I loved Adam Mcdougall. Everyone loved him for the fact that he was just, man, I can't even get over how good he was. That was on the 2000 days as well. I think he might have won a premiership with them, or he might not have, but he was there for a long time. And he was just sexiest ball head you'd ever seen. Ever. Oh, until now. There we go. Second sexiest ball head you've ever seen.
Have you given man shakes a go?
What's that, sorry?
You know Andrew Mcdougall? Have you given his man shakes a go? You know
I have not. Is it good?
Well, you know, like the company, The Man Shake.
Man Shake, yeah.
You know that's his company?
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I genuinely didn't even know that. Wow.
So you can win, but I'll bring fun facts.
You can, yeah, but you bring the fun facts and positivity of my team. So now not only do I get a winger, one of the greatest wingers, but I also get a company alongside it. So, just absolutely fantastic there. And I'm going to take him on the wing. Now, I think I can lead the centres for now. You know what? I'm going to go back to the front rows here. I'm going to go back to the front rows. I know you said you're going to leave it for a little bit later, but I'm taking Willie Mason. I'm taking the big Willie Mason. Now, I know he played the majority of his time at the Roosters and also at the Dogs, but when he was at the Knights, he was the exact same kind of player, man. Willie Mason was a quality player in the front row, and he was just absolutely... Look, we all know Willie. We all know the big Willie, mate. Big boy Willie. So, you know, I'm taking Willie Mason.
Smart from you. Real smart. That's
I'm
smart.
all right sometimes.
So I'm going to trend a similar line.
All right.
In my number 10,
yep,
I want current co-captain Daniel Saifiti.
Yeah, that's a good pick, mate. That's a good pick. I like that one. Daniel Saifiti. Oh, number 10. Sorry, I wrote him in number 8. Daniel Saifiti.
Oh, no,
there you go.
He needs the 10.
He needs the 10. It is fair call. You got one more pick.
Yeah, one more pick.
Jeez, I'm just looking at Paul Harragon and Willie Mason here. I'm just like, I'm scared for you.
I'm going to go
Yep.
a back rower.
Okay.
Ben.
We haven't taken a back rower yet.
No, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, my 13.
You're 13 into your lock. All right.
Yep. Ben Kennedy.
Ben Kennedy into the lock. Fair enough. I had him as my number 1 second row. And you've chucked me in the lock, which is actually good. Like, obviously, when you're back row, you can really play. Any forward really can kind of play anywhere. So, Benny Kennedy can go into the number 13.
Aggression.
What's that, sorry?
Bit of aggression from Ben. That's what I want.
You know, get a bit of aggression there, number 13. All right, so 2 spots here for me. And so you've taken my number 1. You've taken my number 1 when it came to the second rows. But you've also... Oh, you know what? I'm going to have to... Oh, man, because I'm pretty happy with either of the wingers there, but you've got one winger left, so I'm pretty happy with either of the ones, because you're going to pick... I think I know who you're going to pick. I know who you're going to pick on the wing.
Okay.
Alongside him. Oh, man, that's frustrating, because like this... And I did this with the Dogs too. I was like, oh... He didn't actually end up taking either of them, but I was like, oh, there's 2 ones here and they're so good. I'm going to let you pick one first. And he didn't actually end up taking it. So I had the bad choice, or good choice at the end. But all right, so what do I do here? I think I'm going to have to continue with the forwards right now, because my centers are still pretty open. Actually, you know what? I'm going to take Dane Gagai here.
Yeah, smart.
Dane Gagai. I think that people look at his form from the Rabbitohs. They look at his origin and wherever he's played, but they forget that even though the Knights were... This is what I was saying before. Even though the Knights were a terrible team when he was there, he was still one of the best players in the squad. He was still making origin. He was still literally probably the only guy in the team that was any kind of good at the time, really. So I will definitely take Dane Gagai, and people will obviously remember him as well with his Rabbitohs form and the likes.
All right. Back now, so that's nice.
Oh, yeah, he is going back to the Knights too. Well, there you go. See, I'm getting loyalty in the team too. We need the loyalty in the team.
We do.
And you've got a 14 spot available, so I'm going to have to lock up my... Oh, you're not going to take him as a 6, actually. I'll leave my 6 for the time being. Don't worry. I'm thinking. I'm trying to get some...
This is a game of chess. You already moves ahead. You know what I'm thinking.
I know what winger you're taking. I know what winger you're taking.
Because I didn't... I don't...
There's no way you're not taking him. You'll know why I'm saying this at the end anyway. You'll know why I'm saying this. Okay. So I'm going to leave that. I'm going to have to go to my back row here, and I'm going to take Steve Simpson here. I'm going to take Steve Simpson here in the back row. A bit of an olden days kind of big bopper who just got the job done. Said, get out my goddamn face, and got his job done, mate.
Yep.
You're up.
I'm going to go to the back row as well. Speaking of people who just get their job done.
Yep.
Mitch Barnett.
Oh, Mitch Barnett. I do have him here too. I think he's very underrated, man.
So do I. He just, again, aggression, but he doesn't really make a lot of mistakes
Scores a couple tries here and there too.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, great. Mitch
He
Barnett.
kicks the ball too, doesn't he? I think he converts sometimes as well.
He does, which is really surprising.
Bloody second row is kicking the ball. Unbelievable. But
How do you do?
is that your first pick or second pick?
Yes, that's my first.
All right.
Mitch Barnett. Just need to highlight him here on my old Word doc.
Yeah.
Mitch Barnett. And then I'm going to go on the wing.
Here we go. Now we're going to find out if it was the one.
Okay. I'm going to go with... Look, my pronunciation...
No, he's taken the one that I really, really wanted. No, I know. Go on.
Aku Uwate.
Akila Uwate.
Yeah.
Dosso Vitti. Mate, so basically, I thought you were going to go Darren Albert. on the wing.
Yeah, right.
Because obviously what you were saying, but I was choosing between Akila Uwate and Darren Albert. And I actually had Akila Uwate as my number 5 there. As my number 2, on the wing. So I had Adam Mcdougall, then Akila Uwate, Tamana Tahu, and then Darren Albert. So, we're pretty even there, really, in regards to those wings. Because now I'm going to get my first and fourth, and you're going to get second and third.
I'm just really disappointed that I've come to Newcastle not seeing Akila Uwate and Tamana Tahu play for the Knights. Because when I watch NRL now, I look at the Justin Ollams and, the name escapes me, big centre that plays for the Dragons. Maybe the winger.
Mikael Ravalawa.
And Micah Sevo, just the big boys.
Yeah.
And we don't have one.
You don't really have one, no.
Not in that same mould. And then looking at these guys, it's like, man, they were really good. Why can't...
Well, Akila Uwate, man, honestly, he was a similar to Dane Gagai in the sense that when he was there also beforehand, but he was also in that time when they were terrible. But he was still one of the best wingers in the game. If people don't remember Akila Uwate, he was one of the original wingers. I know that we're talking, there's probably Fijian wingers from back in the 2000s and 90s and whatnot, but Akila Uwate for me was one of the first real Fijian style wingers that I noticed in rugby league, and man, it was an absolute pleasure to watch, man. And obviously, my Fijian background, I love Fijian wingers. I took Suliasi Vunivalu and Marcus Sivo in the draft last year, for example.
Yep.
But that's a fantastic pick. Oh man, I should have just done it because when you're leaning with something and you want to take it, but then you're like, and it's man. Tell you what.
You don't know what you lost till you don't know what you got till it's gone.
Well, you get a Big Mac or a quarter pounder, and you're like, what do I take? A Big Mac or do I take a quarter pounder? Then you take the Big Mac, and you're like, oh shit, I wanted the quarter pounder. Gee whiz, and that's exactly what just happened then. All right, so now I'm going to have to go to the back row here again. I'm going to take Beau Scott. Beau Scott played a bit of New South Wales action as well. Beau Scott, my number 3 on the second rows there. I think he's a buddy. Look, he might not be the most flashy player ever, but you don't necessarily need flashy players. Back in the day, man, second rows weren't flashy. Now you get David Fafita. He's flashy.
Yep.
And back then, it was never like that. All right, so now I've already got my front row sorted, but I could give you a bit of a slap up here in the front rows, to be honest with you. I could do it. I'm going to take Tony Butterfield here. I'm going to take Tony Butterfield here off the bench in the 15. Obviously, I can see you've still got your 8, and also your bench hasn't been done yet. So I have to just, buddy, go Schlabberuno with the old backhand, with the old Tony Butterfield.
Yeah, okay. I definitely forgot that I still needed my 8 sorted, which I'm now going to go with Mark Sargent, because...
Mark Sargent, yep.
He's the winner of the 1989 Rothmans medal, I found out in my research.
I was about to say, where do you see that? Where do you see that? But I actually have him as my number 4. I have him as my number 4. So it's not a bad pick, man. It's a really good pick.
And then I'm going to go with my last player in the back row is going to be Adam Muir.
Adam Muir was the next pick that I had too. There you go.
Fantastic.
Fantastic. Fantastic from you. I'm not too happy, but, fantastic from you because, that now screws me in regards to who I would have taken next. All right, so where do I go now? So I still need a 6, but I know you're not going to take the 6 that I want because he wasn't really a utility. All right. Now, no, I don't have to take a wing now. And I think we both know who that was.
Yes, that's pretty safe.
I've already taken Dane Gagai. You know what? You took one Fijian. You can't have them all, mate. You cannot have them all. I'm taking Wes Nagwama. I'm taking Wes Nagwama here.
Wes.
What's that, sorry?
Tell me a bit about Wes.
Wes Ngrama, I actually, funnily enough, know people who are very close with Wes from in Fiji. But Wes he's very similar to Akili Iwate, but in the centres. Literally just the same. I would personally say Akili Iwate was strides better. But I still think that Wes Ngrama was just one of those... I don't know whether there's a centre who's like him nowadays from Fiji, because Justin Olam... I think Wes was a bit more faster than Olam, but not as hard running is what I would kind of compare Wes Ngrama with. But he was still very hard running, don't get me wrong. But he just had that pace. So you've taken my pace and a killer, so I'm going to have to take the somewhat pace of Wes Ngrama. And he also played quite a bit for Fiji at representative level as well. All right.
You got one more?
Yeah, I got one more. I think I got one more. Do I have one more?
I think so.
I hope so. It doesn't really matter to you.
He's counting.
No, I'll take it, I'll take it. All right, so I've still got my 13, my 5, my 6, my 16 and 17. Well, I've still got my bloody 16 and 17 here, so I have to go with another forward here, don't I? I just have to. And I'm going to... I've actually got a couple of players above him right now, I do, but I'm still going to take Tyson Frizzell here. I'm going to take Tyson Frizzell here in my 16. I think that he's a guy that's a lot different in his body structure nowadays, and he's got a bit more about him stamina-wise maybe than the old front row forwards, the old forward style, which is all grindy. And I think that Tyson Frizzell, Tony Butterfield is just a boom in your face, going to give you a punch. And Tyson Frizzell is just like, I'm going to punch you, and I'm going to keep going for 80 minutes too.
Yep. Yeah, smart. That's smart from you.
You're right.
I'm going to go with 14. There's 3 players that I have. Okay, so I'm going to pick Mark Glanville.
Mark Glanville.
Yep.
Where?
14.
Mark Glanville, 14. You've taken the 2 best locks on the board, man. So Mark Glanville is... he also played a little bit of hooker, and I think he also played a bit of second row as well.
Yeah, so again...
Only 13, though.
Versatility from Mark Glanville, player of the year, 91-93.
Yep.
Hopefully to swing people's votes. Mark Glanville...
you want to swing the votes, mate. You do. You want to swing. That's why it's good that you're explaining this, because I know a lot of people wouldn't know Mark Glanville nowadays anyway.
So, Mark in the number 14. Now, my number 15.
Yep.
Someone who can play really anywhere in the forwards, I think. And I have an attachment to this player. He's a current day player. He's not flashy, not a big name. You wouldn't have even had him down on your piece of paper.
Probably don't.
Now, the reason I'm picking this player is because, like Mitch Barnett, I don't think he makes a lot of mistakes, and he always comes with 110% effort.
Oh, I know who you're taking.
I'm taking Suaso Su.
So, I thought you were going to say David Clemmer.
Nah, Clemmer makes mistakes.
I know. That's what I was about to say. But Suaso Su, I don't necessarily complain.
I really like him. He's big, he's tough, he's strong, and I don't know. I want to get to know him. He seems like a cool guy.
He's probably all right. Well, you got him. You're the coach. Well, we have to choose a coach, but you're the general manager of this team, so you'll get to meet him. Don't you worry.
No.
All right, so 5, 6, 13, and 17. You got a centre. You got your 16, 17. So I'm going to have to go to the forwards here again in 17, just so that I've still got my lock as well. So I'm just going to really go for the lock here, and I've got a choice whether I go Matty Hilder or Neville Costigan. I think people. Oh, man. Neville Costigan was pretty good, man. He was pretty good. That's why he's on this list. I'm going to take... I got Matt Hilder in my 3. You know what? I'm taking Matt Hilder first. I'm taking Matt Hilder as my 13. I've got to do it.
Okay.
Matt Hilder is my 13, sorry, not in the centres. Now, who is going to be my 17? Sorry, Neville, mate. Sorry, buddy. 17, I'm going to go with another front... No, I've already got a front row forward, so I'm going to take 2 back rowers here. And I'm going to take... I think he's currently the head of the Players Union right now, the Rugby League Players Union, which is the Clint Newton. A guy that a lot of people might not really remember for being, he was a kind of... at the Panthers, he was okay, but I think at the Knights, he was a very strong player, man, and just got his job done. So, like we were saying, man, the back rowers, when you get bonuses like Fafita and Viliami Kikau nowadays, Isaiah Papali'i, that's a bonus they score tries. These guys were the guys who laid the foundation beforehand, and that's why I love Clint Newton, because he laid the foundation.
He's a foundation layer.
Oh, mate, he lays it. He does lay it. But you're up for 2 picks. You got your 4, 16, 17, and coach still to come.
I'm going to go with my 16, and I'm going to pick Matt Parsons.
Matt Parsons. Yep, he was my number 5 off the board on my front rows. Good pick there. Matt
I appreciate that. Did you have any front rows in front of Matt Parsons that haven't been selected yet?
No.
Fantastic. That makes me feel better.
Yeah. The thing is, the next 3, like, I think that there's one here who was in 8th on my list, but it's like, he's a guy, I can't say it. I'm going to wait for you to take your 17 and I'll explain it.
Okay, so I'm going to go with my number 4 now.
Okay.
Bradman Best.
Bradman Best. All right. It's a pretty good pick, man. I can't complain. Bradman Best. Like, look, I think a lot of people, I don't think he's had the best of year this year.
No, he hasn't, has he?
But I think last year he was definitely having a good year. And that's the thing as well that I want to focus here, guys. It comes down to their peak form at the club, right? So Best has been good and has loads of potential. Long way to go. But I should let you explain, actually. What do you think of Bradman Best?
Well, yeah, that's the thing, potential. I thought he started the year really well. He then had an injury. He's come back. He's not really played that well. And I don't think the Knights have really played that well, to be honest. So
still beat my team. But we're both in the 8, though. So, you know.
But, yeah, no, I just like that he's young. He's got potential. He's like 20 years old. So he's obviously going to get better. And playing in a team like this, he can fit with those players. It's not as if he's 10 times shitter than everyone else. Like, he fits with those people. And by the end of his career, I'm sure he will stand alongside those people.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think Bradman Best is a good selection there. And I think that people will be able to associate now because a lot of, obviously, the people voting for this is also probably quite young. So I think it's a good pick because they'll be like, yeah, no, he's going to be good. So I got 2 picks, right? You took Matty Parsons and Bradman Best. So I am going to have to now... You know what? I can come back to my 5 and 6. Well, I've got one of those anyway now, but I'm going to take my coach here.
Oh!
I'm going to take my coach here. And I'm actually quite surprised that it took so long for us to get here because for me, there is a clear and out winner here.
Yeah.
Now, I've already got it, my coach has written down, but there is a clear and out winner here because I wanted to read out the stats to you guys out there because this was early days Knights. So I'm taking Mal Riley. He had 98 games with 62 wins, 33 losses, and a 63.3% winning percentage. No wooden spoons, and won the premiership in 1997. So I think Mal Riley is probably the number 1 pick there by a long way. But there is also, like I said, I had 2 there. I think, I don't know who you're going to pick now, but in the same sense, I hope you pick this one because actually you can make an argument against it. I'm making an argument against whatever. What shush place? Let me get on to my next pick. Do I take?
What do you got left?
I got my 5, my 6 left. So it doesn't really matter. I'm just trying to figure out kind of. Oh man. You know what? I'm gonna leave. Well, you guys know I'm taking Darren Albert, so I may as well get him off the board now. So it's a bit of a surprise who I take with my last pick, I guess.
That's fun.
So I've got my winger and my 5'8", by the way. So that is actually a surprise because everyone's like, "Oh, wait a second, how are you going?" All right, Darren Albert as my wing. You're up for your 17 and coach. Your final 2 picks.
17 and coach. 17. I'm going Josh Perry. You got him,
Perry. Do I have him? I don't have him.
Well, you didn't do as thorough research as I did.
Mate, you've got it over me, mate. You've got it over me.
Josh Perry's 30th game was the 0-1 grand final.
Was it? Wowee.
Yep.
And that was, I think you guys obviously won that one because my coach is that guy who got them got them the win there. Just want to throw that one out there. But I think that was the game where Knights were up big and then Parramatta came back strong, but Knights held out in the end.
Yep. And I mean, this might not be true, but I'm pretty sure Josh Perry laid the foundation. So,
mate, foundation layers is the key to laying the foundation. So that's the main thing, that you've got a foundation layer in your team.
And speaking of foundation layers, I'm going to pick my coach, the greatest foundation layer of all time.
Yeah.
Wayne Bennett.
You're taking Wayne Bennett as your coach? I just want to throw this out there, man. Hold on.
He coached the Knights.
Oh no! He coached the Knights.
I was like, from your response, I was like, did he not coach the Knights? This could have been awkward.
So,
but his form at the club. I feel like that's what you're going to tell me about.
I'm going to tell you about his form at the club. So, Wayne Bennett obviously came from the Dragon. I think this is probably the only pick on your list that I disagree with, to be honest with you. But it's not like crazy because people are going to associate Wayne Bennett. They're going to think of obviously his Rabbitohs now, his Broncos when he was there, his Dragons when he won a premiership. But unfortunately, man, when Wayne Bennett went to the Knights, he was obviously there to change that club and make them a winning team. He had 75 games, won 34 and lost 40. So he had a less than 50% winning record, which is something that Wayne Bennett never does. And then from there, he actually unfortunately set up their team to go on to win 3 wooden spoons in a row after him. So you may not have seen this, but I know it says that he was there until from 2012 to 2014. But Wayne, if you're watching this, mate, we all know what you did. And unfortunately, he left the club for Danny Badieras to get a wooden spoon and then Nathan Brown to get 2016, 2017. So that would be my only concern.
The thing I had with the coach, though, was the coach is very reliant on the players they have out there. If I have this team, I'm confident that
fair enough,
would do a really good job because he's a fantastic coach. If he's got shit players, what else can he do? That's the only argument I've got for picking Wayne.
No, absolutely. No, I get you. With this team that you've put together here, he would obviously, because that means that he would have brought together a fantastic team, because he is a fantastic team. But obviously, when it comes to kind of how he was at the club, maybe not so much. But I definitely still, Wayne Bennett's one of the greatest coaches of all time, just not for me at the Knights.
Fair. Who would have been your next pick if not Wayne?
Michael Hagan. So Michael Hagan was the other one. So when I look at these, I think I need them to have won a premiership. If they haven't won a premiership, I look for their best winning percentage. Okay. So Michael Hagan, he won a premiership in 2001. However, did also win a spoon in 2005, which does hamper it. And then I think he was there for one more year to get the wooden spoon, but he was there for 155 games, 83 wins and 71 losses. So usually even the best coaches are around that mark. You know, you don't really get too much more than that. So there were better winning percentages with Warren Ryan and Adam O'Brien. I think actually Warren Ryan at another club.
But see, knowing that Wayne Bennett was an option, I just couldn't have picked Adam O'Brien.
You wouldn't have. Mate, you don't pick Adam O'Brien. You don't. I'm not saying he's bad. Don't get me wrong, but it's too early, and also they're in the 8, but they've also got minus 153, 173. Is that points differential? It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. But in the same sense, I'm a Titans fan. We made the 8. We still finished below the team that had a minus 173 points differential. So go figure with my team and the rest of the comp this year anyway. But
we need your 6.
We do need the 6 here, mate. We do need the 6.
Where are we going?
Now the thing is that I could go Michael Hagan here because he was a 6 and he was the coach as well, but he was a 6. Or I could go Jared Mullen, or I could think about Trent Hodkinson into the 6. But I'm going to take Jared Mullen here. I think he was kind of there just, if I can remember correctly. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comment section. But I think Jared Mullen was just there just beforehand. He was a very solid player, but I think alongside Andrew Johns, you can't complain. I don't think anyone, you can't be bad alongside Andrew Johns there. You just can't be bad alongside Andrew Johns. So Jared Mullen, Andrew Johns, and that rounds out my team, man. I think we absolutely smashed this.
I think we nailed it. Great job.
So I'll read out through mine. Or do you want to read your team out, and then I'll read my team? Have you got them in the list, or do you want me to read it out?
Yeah, I've got them. Boy, do I have them. I got them right here.
Okay, perfect. Well, buddy, run us through 1 to 17 plus coach, and let's get it cracking.
All right, so we got Robbie O'Davis, Tamana Tahu, Matt Gidley, Bradman Best, Akili Uate.
First time, got it. Love it.
Go there. Matty Johns, Mitch Pearce, Mark Sargent, Bustling Bill Pedden, Daniel Safidi, Adam Muir, Mitch Barnett, Ben Kennedy, Mark Glanville, Suaso Su, Matt Parsons, Josh Perry, Coach Wayne Bennett.
There we go. Jeez, I love the emphasis behind it too, mate. I love the emphasis
behind it. I feel like
it.
That helps.
It does help, mate. It gets people excited. They're like, all right, well, this team's going to war right now because they're going to need to go to war. They're going to need to go to war with this next team. And that's got Kalen Ponga in the number 1 position there. Can play a bit of halves. Can obviously. I could have put him in the 14, but I'm happy with my 14 spot. Adam Mcdougall and Darren Albert as the wingers there, with Dane Gagai and Wes Nagwama in the centres. Wowee. Jared Mullen, the 6, with the best player of all time, arguably. I know you New South Wales fans are like that, but if you're a Queenslander out there, best player of all time. But New South Wales fans, best player of all time. Just vote for my team, please. Paul Harrigan and Billy Mason as the front row, with Danny Vidiris in the number 9. We've got Steve Simpson, Bo Scott, and Matty Hilda as the back row. Matty Hilda being the lock, with Kurt Gidley in the number 14. Big Tony Butterfield, Tyson Frizzell, Clinton Newton, and the man, the myth, the machine, Mal Riley. Not myth though, actually. He's not a myth because he didn't win a premiership. I think that's the thing to do with, man. That was. I actually really like both of these teams here. Like, I'd ask you kind of what your thoughts are of my team, but like, I think a lot of the plays that I've taken are probably 2000s as well. A couple of plays here and there, but you know, I think that your backline's really good, man. I love Timana Tahu and Akila Huante. Timana Tahu was a beast, man, on the wing, and Robbie O'Davis was my number 1 fullback. But, you know, I think that your whole backline's pretty good. Obviously, I think Mitchell Pearce, people won't respect this, but I think Mitchell Pearce really should be respected as probably the second best 7 there. Maybe Leo Deniva or Trent Hodkinson. But in the same sense, I actually don't mind Mitchell Pearce there, mate.
Well, the difference that he makes to the Knights right now, you can clearly see how important and integral he is. So it's kind of the same Wayne Bennett theory as I've got. Like, Pearce is a good player in good form.
Yeah. If
everyone else around him is shit, he can't do much.
Yeah, fair enough. I think a couple of players that have been unlucky to miss out here.
Yep.
Hookers-wise, Robbie McCormack, Isaac De Gois, and Johnny Morris. I think they're the hookers that have missed out. 5'8"-wise, Michael Hagan also was a coach that missed out too. Neville Costigan's a big one for me. There was also Darius Boyd that we could have selected there because he was good in his days, but in the same sense, for me, it was more so his days at the Dragons and the Broncos that I remember him for. Sneak peek into a future video, or potentially a video that's already gone, about who's been picked there. I think also, who was it? Kate Snowden was the big forward that I was talking about in the number 8. Kate Snowden was a guy that I compare with the Titans and Sharks, Luke Douglas or Luke Bailey. I think Kate Snowden was a guy. Well, actually, Luke Bailey's a bit different, but Luke Douglas and Kate Snowden, I think they're very similar players, just big, solid guys who would just run the line and just always there. Like, I don't think Snowden was injured much, and obviously Douglas wasn't injured literally ever. And I think that was a really big loss there. But obviously, it's difficult, man. That's why these are so fun, because there is so many options to choose from.
Someone who I had on my list that I wanted to pick, who no one will agree with, but was Connor Watson. Like, I really like him coming off the bench. His quick feet. He can kind of play in a few different positions.
Yeah.
And I'm really upset that he's going back to the Roosters. Like, I think he adds so much, and I don't feel like Adam O'Brien has got anywhere near Connor's potential out of him. And
no, I actually think that if I was to adjust your team now, obviously this is great in hindsight, but if I was to adjust your team now, I would put Mark Glanville. Well, personally for me, I would have probably put Connor Watson in regards to what you're saying, Connor Watson into the 14, because he can obviously play hooker. He can play, I think he can play a bit of halves as well. He can also play in the centres and second row, can't he?
Yep.
Yeah, so he can play everywhere. So I probably would put Mark Glanville, maybe for me, over Suaso Sue, and then I would have put
that was a love pick.
Yeah, no, fair enough, mate. Fair enough. You know, so yeah, that's going to do us for today, guys. Obviously, if you want to vote on these teams, firstly, comment down below. Let us know your thoughts down below of these two teams, and just let us know who you would have picked, or what picks you do like, or which team you think is better. But the vote is going to be done on BKRsport on Instagram, so go and check that one out and chuck us a vote. And at the end of this entire series, this series is going throughout the entire off season, right? So 16 different weeks, 16 different teams, and with 16 different content creators. So do keep in line with it and check it out every week that comes out same time. But yeah, jump on to BKRsport and vote it. Please also don't forget, it doesn't matter who you follow. It doesn't matter how many followers anyone has. Please vote for the team that you think is the best. Don't just vote because you like a certain creator more. We've got big creators. We've got small creators here. We've got creators all over the place. So please just vote for the team you think is better, because I know that, unfortunately, the way we did it last year, man, Rosie's team crushed one of the other teams because we forgot to tell people this, and they just voted for his team.
Oh, right.
And it was bad, man. It was bad. Unfortunately, my good friend Entertain House, he copped that vote until we sorted that out. But look, I appreciate everyone for tuning in, but mainly, Tommy, thanks for coming on, man. Where can everyone find you again?
Bro, just on Instagram at Tommy Casha. Just wanted to say quick thank you to you, man. Thanks for having me on. Thanks for creating this content. The more people there are like you out there creating this content, taking the initiative, giving people what they want, the better. So thanks, man. And I hope I win.
Well, don't we all, man? But yeah, no, thanks, man. Obviously, this community is growing. You know, like even though you're a new NRL fan compared to, for example, myself, who's been watching it my whole life, you still put together a good team here, man. And like, look, yeah, I get it, like Googling and whatnot, but at least now you also have learned a bit of the history of the club that you support, which is this is what I'm saying. This is the fun part about it for me. Like you now learn about guys like Bill Pedden or Adam Muir, Ben Kennedy. And then obviously the likes of Tamana Tahu. And if you go and watch the highlights of Kelly Uarte, like it's just, it's really fun to do, man. So, no, I love this series, man. I love this series. And I love the fact that the content creation community is growing in the NRL. And obviously you're representing the old Newcastle Knights. And look, I don't think this has come out after the season, but I don't think the Knights have won it at this point. I don't think the Knights... If they win from minus 173 or whatever it is, I'm going to give up the NRL or I'll become a Knights fan. How about that one? If this video's come out and the Knights have won the premiership, I'm a Knights fan. I'm a glory hunter. But alrighty, guys, go and follow Tommy Casha on his Instagram. He posts some really good stuff there. Obviously, subscribe right now. Hit that red subscribe button. Thumbs up. This is coming out every single week. You want to do it. Plus, next year, the vlogs are going to be returning. Can't wait for that to happen because... it's, I want to get back to do the vlogs, but appreciate as always. Live your passion. Don't let anybody tell you you can't do something. That's the main thing. And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Catch you later.